Picture this. I'm standing in a jam-packed airport 5,000 miles from home, and it hits me. A simple mistake just cost me over $1,000 and nearly torched my entire trip. I'm sharing the 5 expensive lessons I learned the hard way, so you don't have to. That feeling of pure, heart-stopping panic, I never want you to experience it. My name is Eduardo, and I've learned more about travel from my disaster than my successes. They were budget-destroying, trip-ruining blunders. But they taught me 5 unbreakable rules that have since saved me thousands of dollars and a ton of headaches. These are the rules that separate a dream vacation from a total nightmare. And today, I'm sharing them with you. The overplanning trap. My first big trip to Italy was supposed to be perfect, and by perfect I mean I had a military-grade itinerary. I spent weeks building this color-coded spreadsheet that scheduled every single hour of our 2-week trip. I had museum tickets pre-booked, train schedules memorized, and dinner reservations from Rome to Florence. I thought I was a genius. I'd eliminated all uncertainty. Then, on day 3 in a little Tuscan town, a friendly local baker told us about a once-a-year night festival in a neighboring village. He's describing lantern-lit streets, incredible food, music. It sounded like pure magic. The one night the entire region came alive, and I had to say no. Why? Because my spreadsheet said we had a non-refundable 7:30 p.m. dinner an hour in the other direction, followed by a prepaid walking tour at 9 p.m. Deviating would throw the whole fragile schedule into chaos. So we went to our dinner. It was fine. The tour was a tour. But later that night, I saw pictures of the festival online. The regret was instant and massive. My perfect trip suddenly felt hollow, like I'd flown across the world just to check off a to-do list instead of actually having an adventure. That's where I learned my first and most important hack. Hack 1. The 60-40 rule for spontaneity. This one is simple. It's great to be prepared, but you should only ever plan about 60% of your trip. Book your flights. Book your first night stay so you're not scrambling when you land. Maybe book 1 or 2 can't-miss things, but you have to leave at least 40% of your schedule completely gloriously open. That's your adventure space. It's the buffer that lets you say yes when a local tips you off to a hidden waterfall, or when you find a street market you want to get lost in all afternoon. The best travel moments are almost never the ones you plan. They're the spontaneous detours you allow to happen, the phantom booking scam. A few years ago, I was planning a trip through Southeast Asia, feeling pretty smug about my budgeting skills. I was hunting for a hotel in Bangkok and stumbled on a website I'd never seen before. It was offering this stunning boutique hotel for 50% less than any other major booking site. The website looked professional, the photos were amazing, and the reviews seemed legit. It felt too good to be true, which should have been my first red flag. Blinded by the bargain, I booked it. I put in my credit card details, got a legit-looking confirmation email, and gave myself a pat on the back. Fast forward 2 weeks. I land in Bangkok after a 16-hour flight, totally exhausted and drenched in humidity. I give the taxi driver the address, and we pull up to the exact beautiful hotel I'd been dreaming of. I walk up to the front desk, beaming, and give them my name. The receptionist types, furrows her brow, and says the words every traveler dreads. "I'm sorry, sir. We have no reservation under that name." My heart just sank. I showed her the email. She shook her head. The hotel was full and they'd never even heard of the website I used. It was a sophisticated ghost site, a clone made to steal money from people like me. I'd paid for a room that didn't exist. Panicked and stranded, I had to find a last-minute room somewhere else, which cost me triple the price of my fake booking. I didn't just lose the scam money, I paid a huge premium for being desperate. This leads to my second hack, which is non-negotiable for booking anything online. Hack 2. Vet and verify every vendor. If a deal looks way cheaper than every other site, see it as a giant warning sign. Scammers love creating urgency over an unbelievable price. First, try to stick to reputable, well-known booking sites. If you find a deal on a site you don't know, your work isn't done, it's just started. Search for reviews of the website itself, not just the hotel. Watch for red flags like pressure to book immediately or weird payment requests like wire transfers. And here's the crucial final step. After you book, call or email the hotel or airline directly. Find their official contact info and confirm they actually have your reservation. That 5-minute call is your best defense against showing up to a hotel that has no idea who you are. The multi-airline luggage disaster. My first backpacking trip through Europe was a masterclass in what not to do. I was trying to hit 5 countries in 3 weeks, and to do it on the cheap, I booked flights on 3 different budget airlines. I packed one big suitcase, carefully weighing it to be just under the 23-kilo limit for my first flight. I felt so on top of it. The disaster started at check-in for my second flight, from Lisbon to Rome. I heaved my bag onto the scale, and the agent gave me a sympathetic wince. "That'll be €120, she said. I was stunned. It turned out this airline's weight limit was only 15 kilos. The fee was more than my flight. Gritting my teeth, I paid. Then at the next airport, it happened again with a different airline and a different limit. But it got worse. The airline temporarily lost that bag, the one with all my clothes. I landed in a chilly Prague in November wearing shorts and a t-shirt with no jacket and nothing but my small day pack. I spent my first 2 days shopping for overpriced clothes instead of sightseeing, my wallet weeping the whole time. This painful, expensive, and cold lesson taught me my third hack. Hack 3. Pack for the strictest leg of your journey. Before you even think about packing, become a baggage policy detective. Open a tab for every single airline, train, or bus you're using. Find the carry-on and checked bag limits for each, and pinpoint the strictest one, the smallest dimensions, and the lightest weight. That's your new Bible. Pack for that limit, and that limit alone. Better yet, challenge yourself to master the art of carry-on only. It's liberating. It frees you from baggage fees and the soul-crushing dread of a lost suitcase. And always keep your absolute essentials, medication, 1 change of clothes, document copies, in your personal item that never leaves your side. These are just a few of my expensive lessons. I know I'm not alone. What's the costliest travel mistake you've ever made? Drop your own scams or fiascos in the comments below. Your story could save someone else from the same blunder, the all-in-one basket catastrophe. Imagine this. You're in a bustling market in Marrakesh. The air smells like spices. You hear merchants calling out. You see colors everywhere. I was completely mesmerized just soaking it all in. I was so caught up in the moment I didn't feel a thing. It wasn't until I reached into my back pocket to pay for a lantern that cold dread washed over me. Pocket empty. My wallet was gone. And in that one wallet was my entire travel life. My debit card, credit card, driver's license, and all the cash I'd taken out for the week. In an instant, I went from a happy tourist to a frantic, penniless foreigner with no ID. The next 48 hours were a nightmare of canceling cards, filing a police report across a language barrier, and arranging an emergency wire transfer from family back home, which was both humiliating and stressful. It completely derailed my trip and taught me a lesson I will never, ever forget. This disaster could have been a minor hiccup with one simple hack. Hack 4. Divide and conquer your valuables. Never ever keep all your money and cards in one place. It's the biggest financial risk you can take. Before you leave your hotel, split up your resources, lock one credit card and most of your cash in the hotel safe. Carry only the cash you need for the day and maybe one other card in a secure spot, like a zipped front pocket or a money belt under your clothes. Never a back pocket. For extra defense, I now leave a third backup card hidden in my locked luggage. It's also vital to have digital backups. Take photos of your passport, ID, and the front and back of your credit cards and save them to a secure cloud drive. That way, if the physical copies vanish, you have all the numbers you need to cancel them fast. If my wallet gets stolen now, I lose a little cash and one card. It's an annoyance, not a trip-ending catastrophe. The budgeting mirage. For years, my dream destination was Paris. I pictured myself strolling along the Seine, eating croissants, watching the Eiffel Tower sparkle. I was on a super tight budget, but I was determined to make it work. I found a dirt cheap flight and a hostel on the absolute edge of the city, thinking I had brilliantly outsmarted the high costs of a world-class capital. The reality was a slow, painful grind. My cheap hostel was so far out that I spent nearly 2 hours and a huge chunk of my daily budget just on metro fare to get into the city. Once I was there, the cost of everything was a shock. A simple coffee was twice what I'd planned for. The museums I dreamed of had massive lines or needed expensive tickets I hadn't budgeted for. 4 days in, my budget was torched. I spent my last 2 days in one of the most beautiful cities on earth just wandering around, staring into bakery windows because I couldn't afford a single thing. I lived on bland supermarket sandwiches, feeling totally defeated. I had technically been to Paris, but I hadn't really experienced it. This led me to my final crucial hack for financial sanity. Hack 5. Budget for the destination, not the dream. You have to be brutally honest with yourself. If you have a backpacker's budget, don't try to force it onto a champagne city like Paris, London, or Zurich. You'll just spend the whole trip stressed, broke, and feeling deprived. You'll constantly be saying no to things, which defeats the whole purpose of traveling. Instead, match your destination to your wallet. If you have a limited budget, take it somewhere it will go far. Places in Eastern Europe, Southeast Asia, or parts of Latin America can give you a 5-star experience for the cost of a weekend in a more expensive city. A rich, fulfilling trip where you can eat well and immerse yourself without worry is infinitely better than a poor, stressful one in a city you chose just for the name. Conclusion. All right, so there you have it. My 5 most expensive mistakes transformed into 5 rules that will save you thousands. 1. Leave room for magic with the 60-40 rule. 2. Vet and verify your vendors to avoid getting scammed. 3. Pack for the strictest airline, not the first, to dodge those insane fees. 4. Divide your money in cards so one theft doesn't wreck your trip. And 5. Match your budget to your destination so you can have a rich experience, not a poor one. Travel will always throw you a curveball or two. You can't plan for everything, but if you learn from the blunders of others, you can avoid the most catastrophic and stressful mistakes. Prepare for problems, but don't let the fear of them keep you from exploring. If these tips were helpful, do me a favor. Hit that like button and subscribe for more ways to travel smarter. And don't forget to share your own travel lessons in the comments. I read every single one. Now get out there and have an adventure the smart way.